Welcome to the Barker Podcast Collection.
I suck, you suck, I suck at Call of Duty.
Welcome to the Not Playing Podcast. My name's Rob Howard, and this week I'm joined by
Iain Bruce, Patrick Kane,
and Adam Scott. Hello.
You can contact us on email at notplayingpodcast@gmail.com or follow us on Twitter at notplayingpod. I tried the new Unreal Tournament on the advice of, Iain mentioned you've been playing it,
yep.
and my friend John had started playing it, and it's pre-alpha, and it's being crowd developed, I believe.
Yeah, they're basically doing it as an excuse to get into the Unreal Engine 4. So it's been free. You can create levels for it. You can I think all the code's available in UE4, so you can just do shit that you want to do with it, which is a great way of getting the engine going.
So I just joined a quick match, thinking, "Oh God, here we go. This is it. I'm going to be crap." Because after my performance on Battlefield, I was just like, I don't have the reflexes to play this kind of game anymore. I was bouncing around. I came third, 17 kills. Like, I was like, fuck yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what it was. Maybe it's just I was only playing in a match with like about 5 or 6 other people, but I didn't know the map. I vaguely remembered the weapons, and I just had a great fucking time.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't play it for very long, but I thought, oh, this is cool. I mean, I certainly haven't uninstalled it though, and I'm well up for playing some matches with you guys if you want.
Yeah, I'm up for it. Yeah.
It's
I'm
free.
downloading it now.
It's free.
Yeah. I'm glad you enjoyed it, actually. I was quite surprised when you said that you'd install it, and very pleasantly surprised that you enjoyed it, because I think it does go back to the Battlefront thing, in that we have, when we come to Battlefront, we bring our own agenda of expectations, really.
Yeah.
But Unreal Tournament did one thing. It was just deathmatch and capture the flag. There's team deathmatch in there. I had a number of hours of fun playing what I thought were team deathmatch games on the internet, trying to add the other players as friends, and it took me a little while to realise I was playing in a local bot match.
The UI is a little bit sketchy.
What an utter cock, I thought.
Also, what I did, first of all, when I started playing it, was I just booted up the tutorial, because I was like, I couldn't remember what any of the weapons did.
Yeah.
So I just did that, and I realised it then said you've got 15 minutes, you've got like 1 minute remaining, and so the tutorial is like got the same conditions set up as a deathmatch.
Yeah.
Even though there's no one in there, and you're just bodying around doing these cool little. They're quite cool, like sort of Portal-esque challenges that they've set up for you to figure out how the weapons work. Also, the movement is a bit different, I think. You can like bounce off walls, like you jump at a wall and then press like D, and you'll bounce right.
Parkour?
So that was
It's not really that.
But you can wall run.
Yeah, but it's not. What I love about it is it doesn't really have any gimmicks. I know it's got the teleporter for capturing the flag, so you can teleport in, but then you can't use it when you bring the flag back. But they don't feel like gimmicks. They feel like a practical way of getting across this bit that you wouldn't necessarily be able to jump across.
And it's a concession to modern FPS design, because this is post-Titanfall and all those other things.
Yeah, but it's a tiny little. I think I probably played 8 hours over the weekend and Friday, and I played a lot of matches with some really good players, I thought, and I didn't really see anybody doing any wall running, because the gameplay is extremely simple. There is no, you've got to get this bit and then get to here, and you've got to hold that for 5 minutes and then move the next bit onto here while somebody else does the thing. There's a flag, you get it from here and take it over there. And that's it. That's, for the competitive stuff, that's it. And that was certainly enough for me. Jesus, the good games were great. However, the bad games were I was absolutely fuming, which might be a problem, because I want to stop doing that with my gaming time.
Is that why? Would you say that was down to like the players, or
it's always down to the players? It's
right. Okay.
For the FPSs that I enjoy, a shit game is down to shit players, and I don't mean people who can't play. I mean people who are utter fuck nuggets. So, and
Yeah.
they're just, oh, you shouldn't have done it like that. Well, if you want to dictate to someone, go create your own server and get all your bitches on and tell them what to do. This is a public server. Everybody will play how they want to play, and we'll all achieve the objectives that way, like most servers do. Don't tell us you. No. I don't mind direction, but dictatorship really fucking annoys me. Jesus, it annoys me.
Yeah. So I'm not sure. There's like a handful of maps on there at the moment, but it's free.
There's like 15 maps, I think. There's a load of
Is
maps.
there?
Yeah. For
I've got
CTF
to say,
there is. I think there's 12, and there's maybe the same for Deathmatch.
And it goes without saying, it runs like a peach, and it looks incredible. Like the map I played, there's like a little outdoor area, and there's loads of lifts where you can jump about.
Is that the white map?
I can't remember. It was all kind of very metallic, sort of.
One of them looks just like you're in it's photoreal, I think. It's just unbelievable.
The like HDR effect as you sort of go outside,
Yeah.
there's like a little bit of adjustment to the light, and it's so well done. But yeah, I was like, it was like a welcome, like little nostalgia trip. I found,
And it has facing worlds for CTF, the floating island thing with the two massive towers at either end.
Oh, yeah, I
And
used to love that.
That's
yeah.
That must be nearly 20 years old. That thing is 15 years old at least.
Yeah, gotta
and
be.
it plays exactly the same as all the other ones. If you could play those ones 10 years ago, 15 years ago, whenever it was.
Have you got the really over-the-top announcer? Like, multi-kill! All that stuff.
I believe you have.
Yeah, I think that's all in there. Yeah.
You've got the detonator thing, whatever it is, the massive missile.
Redeemer.
The Redeemer, that's right. The thing that you can...
Yeah.
It's good fun. And it really reminded me that those games had moved on well, and then started becoming X Factor products.
Like
The same
Battlefield.
shit. And the
It's nice to
Battlefields,
just-
and
It's nice to just like rein it in a bit and
go back to basics.
go back to basics. Yeah. Cool.
Now they just need Loki's minions to make a reappearance, and I'll be very happy. Yes!
So that one's less of a theme park and more of just a well-made shooter than...
yeah.
Unreal Tournament feels like Laser Quest. It's a bit
awesome.
stinky, it's a bit sweaty, there's a couple of idiots in there, but you're going to have a good time because you know what you're going to get from it.
Yeah. That's
Cool.
awesome.
I'm still very much entrenched in Mad Max and Arkham Knight. I think I'm near the end of both of them. I've literally been bouncing from one to the other, but at the weekend I spent a massive amount of time with Mad Max, probably did about 10 hours, to be honest.
Cool, excellent.
And and a lot of people was kind of saying about how like there's this sort of choke point where you have to do this race, and it's like, oh well, if you don't have enough, you know, if you haven't got a good enough car, you know, you end up having to grind loads. And I don't think that's true. I mean, it does say, right, yeah, you need this thing, and to get this thing, you need to reduce the amount of fret.
I don't see that as grinding. That's the plot requires you to do this. If you've
Yeah,
avoided
but-
everything, if you've just done the main quest hub to get to this point, of course you won't be ready for this point because the
Yeah.
next bit is going to be substantially harder. So,
Well, yeah,
quit
you'll never.
bitching and go back and do some of the side missions.
Well, all I'd say is if anyone is worried about that with Mad Max, if you can just, as long as you do the wasteland missions that you get from the various bosses that you meet, you will reduce the amount of fret by doing that, because some of those involve taking out outposts, and by taking out those outposts, you reduce the fret automatically. Also, there's probably a number of things that you'll want to get for your car, like the flames that shoot out the side. You know, to get that, you have to take down a few outposts, you know. So it's not as confusing as I thought, but there are still a lot of systems in the game to take in, I find, and I've much more enjoyed the game playing it a few hours at a time than like an hour or two before bed.
Right.
And so that's why I decided this weekend I was just going to really like smash through as much of it as I could. And I've really enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed the... I mean, it is so much an RPG. It really is. There are so many ways you can improve your car and Max himself. And some of those outposts, when you get to like the 5-star rank ones, you just get absolutely murdered in there.
Yeah, I've done a couple of those, or tried to do a couple of those.
Until you've got like the metal hands, knuckle dusters, and you're wearing the full-on like armor and stuff, and you can take a punch, and you can fire about 6 shotgun shells off. and make sure you take care of that fucker who's up in the
powering
rafters.
him up, yeah.
Although it's funny to leave him alive sometimes because he's just like, oh, it's just me and you then.
Yeah. And I'm
I-
stuck in
can
this
I go?
wheelchair hanging from the ceiling. I'll be alright, I suppose.
Yeah.
Did you? Because I finished the main story quest for Arkham Knight last weekend, and I have to say, if they hadn't had that PC fuck up on launch, it would be contender for my game of the year. Which
I
I'm
would
a bit
absolutely agree with you.
surprised about.
I was going to say, until I'd played Arkham Knight, Witcher 3 was hands down my game of the year.
Yeah.
But when I think about them, naturally I was like really impressed with Arkham Knight. What is this doing that The Witcher isn't? And the answer is shitloads.
Yeah.
The Witcher is fantastic bit of world building.
Well, they're different games. I mean, they're very different games.
They are. That's very true. But ultimately, what you're doing in The Witcher is you're going into combat with things, and you're doing a lot of exploring and a lot of talking to people, and you're getting a lot of plot and story.
Yeah.
And there's lots of it, and it's amazing, and it looks fantastic. With Arkham Knight, however, the range of things you can do in that game is incredible. You know, 1 minute you're driving after something, then you're flying into the sky, and then you're solving a tiny little puzzle that you could play on an iPhone game. You know, and the fact is as well, and what I think is a masterstroke for an open world game is the quest wheel, because what it does, all of a sudden, it stops being like a fucking million things you've got to go and find, and it's literally just like, what is the nearest thing for me to do?
Yes.
And you just find it, and it tells you how
It
far
also
away it is.
stops like reducing them to like little abstract icons as well,
Yeah.
like Assassin's Creed and stuff
Yes.
does, which is really nice. You know, you've actually got some picture that's actually gives you a bit more of a clue of what it's actually leading to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which actually makes it more appealing as well. It makes you want to actually click on those things. And I actually ended up like destroying a lot more of them, I think, because of that. Just because, you know, it's more appealing. It's like, I don't have like a billion different weird little symbols that I have to look around and
it's
and
not
like
remembering
What is
squint at
that
and work out
again?
what they're
That's
doing.
in the way
It's
of me
just like
getting there.
it's like this clock of game. It's like, right, 12 o'clock, what's going on here?
I think we spoke about it last time, and you said you weren't going to play any more, Pat, or did you play
No,
more?
I did actually finish it in the end.
Okay, excellent, good.
I did finish it in the end, yeah.
One of the things that kind of blew me away, to be honest, was the main story quest stuff. There was a moment, and this isn't a spoiler really. There was a moment in the main story quest where a character was in jeopardy, and somebody said, "It's okay to be afraid," and the hairs went up on the back of my neck, and I was just on the edge of my seat. It was absolutely amazing, and it was absolutely a trope. It was a trope completely, but the stuff that led up to it, and there was all this music, and then there was just silence, and this going, "It's okay to be afraid," and I was fucking afraid. I was absolutely afraid, and it really got me. Then it really got me.
They have very masterfully honed that fiction for all it's worth, and the way that they deal with a certain character is just so well done, and it's consistent. It's all the way through.
You're having a laugh,
and it's. I just thought it was. I thought it was excellent.
Yeah, it was.
But yeah, just to say about the way that they handle the multiple missions, it's not just like a clock, of directions or divided the game up into like a pie. They unlock over time, so quite often you'll only have like 3 or 4 different things to do, and then when you do them, you get to the end of one chain. One might be that one of them is like Two-Face's robbing banks, and that's got its own little plot, and it's about 4 missions, and you might decide, I'm just going to do that tonight, or you might go, like I've approached it, I'll just do whatever's the closest thing. And so I've really experienced a good cross range of the game. In terms of the upgrades, for there are many, I found that I was kind of just doing it in a kind of, what am I shit at now?
Yeah, me too. I know somebody said earlier about RPGs Adam and Pat were talking about our games not having RPG bits just for the sake of having them. I don't know if I have become a bit jaded to RPGs as I've entered my twilight years. I'm not that old. But I just give much less of a shit about it. And I think for some reason the games like Arkham Knight and Mad Max as well, for me at least, you don't need to spend hours poring over which upgrade you're going to do. Pick a shiny one, get back to the game, and it doesn't really seem to make that much of a difference.
Well, the thing is, a lot of the Batman stuff is kind of systemic because it will give you like another combo thing that you can do. And so what I found was
I could never get the controller working the combos anyway. So
I never bother with those.
There's enough in there from the get-go that you don't really need that shit. And there's one more thing that I have to mention after this. I mostly just went for the stuff that made put more armour on my car, or reduce the reload time, just so that I could get through some of those fucking tank bits, because they are fucking mental, some of them.
Yeah, when there's 40 of them, it's a bit mad. Yeah.
But yeah, the absolute crown jewels of this game, and you mentioned it before, Pat, and I hadn't really done enough of it, is the tag combat when you are fighting Batman and Robin.
It feels great.
Both of you tagging, doing the combo takedowns. It absolutely encapsulates that 60s Batman thing from when I was a kid. And it's like,
it's the kapow moment.
It's just so, that was so unexpected for me, because when you look at the way that Batman's changed over the years, like they've really kind of moved away from that. And it was just so nice to put that back in, you know, and just sort of get back to sort of how it all kind of started, really. Like, the true spirit of Batman. So yeah, I'm really impressed with Arkham Knight. Like you said, Ian, it's been marred by technical issues. It's still not running that great for me. After a certain event occurs, that sort of has a sweeping change in the environment.
The gassy one,
Yeah, that really tanked my frame rate a bit.
It didn't tank mine, and by Christ, it looked beautiful.
It does.
Wow.
And the later one as well with the pollen, was it?
Yeah.
That looks amazing.
That really
That's
got
the
me
one
right
I
in the
think
feels,
I'm talking about, yeah. But, enough said, I suppose. But yeah, still really enjoying that. I'm going to finish both Arkham Knight and Mad Max, but...
in a kind of related note, but it's not really relevant, really. Shadow Play from NVIDIA lets you stream to Twitch. I don't know if anybody's seen this or has started.
Also lets you stream to your Gear VR, which has been a lot of fun.
Wow, I'm aware of it. I haven't used it. I haven't used it yet. Like I haven't used the Steam stuff yet.
I've done a few things on it over the last couple of weeks, and the impact of gameplay is, it's like you're not even doing it. So,
really?
If you're just going to play games for a couple of hours and just want a record for whatever reason, it's probably worth getting a Twitch account and just throwing it up. It does 60 FPS. It will do 30 FPS if you want. If you've got bandwidth issues, like a wife downloading the internet or whatever other challenges you may face in your daily life. And I just thought I'd put that in because I've done some Arkham Knight and some Mad Max stuff, and at some point everything I was playing I was just sending it to Twitch just because I could, and because it made no impact on the gameplay. I think perhaps there's a space limit at Twitch, or only keeps them for 15 days or something if you've got the free version. But it's worth having a look if you want to share your games with people.
Well, if you chat me the link for that, Ian, I'll put it in the show notes.
It's just generic gameplay stuff. There are a million better people who provide entertaining commentary instead of just a dry no commentary. Although some people like that, I suppose.
Fair enough.
I've actually been. I've never used any of that NVIDIA streaming stuff before, but I've been using a thing called Stream Theater on the Gear VR, which basically hijacks the NVIDIA streaming service. Basically, it basically acts like a shield, but it sends it to your Gear VR and you watch it on a big virtual screen. And I think it was only a couple of months ago that we were talking about that very idea, the idea of like, well, if your internet was good enough and the latency was low enough, you could stream all of your content to your mobile phone with a VR adapter and have a giant screen to play on. And this is exactly that.
Cool.
I've only used it in my flat, but the latency is it's unnoticeable.
Excellent.
good.
It's totally playable, and it's amazing. It was like I took the thing off my face the first time I got Limbo working on it, and it's just like this is the future. Like that is absolutely going to be the future in a few years' time. I suspect
we may have related news in a couple of weeks. We talk about the news from this week period.
I think we've already done that. I don't know.
But yeah, really, really cool. So be excited for being able to do that in the future.
Sounds great.
Having all of your AAA games on a virtual screen anywhere. Essentially, all it needs is good enough internet to stream it.
So that would work on like a Gear VR, would it?
That was on a Gear VR. I was using that. Yeah. So you can. There's already streaming things for just putting the desktop on the Rift, but this one will just take whatever game you're playing on Steam, or I think you can just do the whole desktop. And because I think people use it to watch, they've been using it to watch Netflix before the official Netflix app launched the other day. So you can. I was playing Rocket League on it.
Excellent. Okay.
Yeah, fantastic game. And yeah, just massive virtual screen. And you use I use my Bluetooth controller, which just works just like an Xbox controller. And yeah, it worked really well. I was really, really impressed by it. But yeah, I just thought I'd mention it because that is something to be excited about in the future.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
This has been the Not Playing Podcast in partnership with notlistening.co.uk, where you can also hear myself and Ian talk about movies and TV on the Not Watching Podcast, and Adam, Ash and Will, not that one, talk about all manner of funny things on the Not Listening Podcast. You can also let us know what we're doing right or wrong via email at notplayingpodcast@gmail.com. You can tweet at or follow us on Twitter at notplayingpod. You can find the show notes of this show at notlistening.co.uk. And if you're listening to us on iTunes, then please do give us a review. Anyway, that's all for now. Thanks for listening. See ya!
I suck at Call of Duty.